everybody, welcome to the channel JoJo Budgets. My name is JoJo. For those of you who are new stopping by, for those of you who are returning, thank you for coming back and hanging out with me. I really appreciate seeing those of you in the comments that have been here for a while. Today's video, first as an introduction, if you are new here, my husband and I, we are a two-income household. We have 3 kids, we own a home, we have pets, and we are new to budgeting. We had a change in our income that kind of more so forced us to get an adult budget going. I was going part-time. That was going to decrease our income, our monthly income by quite a lot. And so I knew that what we had been doing was no longer going to work. My favorite find, my favorite financial vocabulary word is sinking funds, you guys. I had never heard of that, ever. I never heard another person say that term until I came to this budget community. And I don't know why. I mean, they make sense. I've always had kind of this savings. You know, my mom had always said, it was always this, you save 10% of everything you earn. That's just what I learned. So I had always had a savings, but it wasn't ever designated for anything. It was just money that sat there because you're supposed to save 10% of everything. And for those of you who are like me and don't really know what sinking funds are, it is where you it's money that you set aside a little bit at a time every month or throughout the year for a intermittent expense that you are expecting to happen. Like, you know it's going to happen. It's not for the rainy day that could happen at some point in the future, like an emergency fund is. You know you're going to spend money on these things, but they're not a part of your monthly budget. So these are all of the categories that I have. And what I'm going to be doing today is going over our current categories, how I came to these categories, and what I have learned about how to shift these around, what was missing from our sinking funds, if I was off on how much I was allocating to each category as well. That's what I'm going to be going over today with you guys. I'm going to get you guys zoomed in and we're going to really dive into sinking funds. All right, so here we are up close and personal. We're all up in the sinking fund table. As I had said, we're a family of 5. I own a home. We have vehicles. We have pets. Those are the things that make up our life. So when I go through our categories, you know, thinking about how this would maybe be applicable to your life, to your situation, just understanding what you are spending your money on or what you would like to spend your money on. So first of all, home maintenance. If you own a home, you absolutely need to have a home maintenance category. We had started by allocating $75 a month to that. That was definitely not enough. We live in an HOA. It's quarterly. We get charged quarterly. And it's $114 every quarter. So what I had done with that, if you take, let's see, 38 times 3, that equals 114. Every 3 months, our HOA charges us $114. So that's how I determined how much to allocate to this sinking fund. And next was our timeshare. Yes, we do have a timeshare and it's paid off, but there's an HOA fee with it. And part of the timeshare, why we ended up getting it, is more so because of we get access to kind of this clubhouse. We live next to a resort lake and it's a very touristy area. So as a local, to try to gain access to the beach for parking, for running water, anything like that, just conveniences. So this is more of a convenience for our family, something that we enjoy. The resort, we have access to the clubhouse. They have a heated pool, a hot tub, a tennis court, basketball court, beach volleyball, grass area where there's fire pits, pergola. So we celebrate birthdays there as well. And then you get paddle boats you can rent, or those pedal boat things. And then you get access to the beach area, which there's also a playground, and they have toys and things. And then there's a bathroom with a flushing toilet. And I'll tell you guys, with 3 kids, that is huge. And there's parking. There is reserved parking. And they provide snacks there as well. So it's totally worth it for us. We use it a lot. And then we get the timeshare as well, which honestly, if I were to add up how much we pay for the HOA and then how much we pay when we go to book a suite or a resort for our timeshare, we probably would save money if we didn't have it at all. But when I think about how much we use that, that's why I have it. So there's that. Our Prime, I note here when it's due. It's going to be due on January 20th. That's $120. So it gets $10 a month because it's once a year, 12 months in a year. 120 divided by 12 would be $10 every month. Our waste management bill, it is $83.07 quarterly. So you say 27.16, or I know that it is another way to do this, that it's $83. I just actually paid it, and 7 cents every 3 months. So I divide that by 3. That tells me I need to put $27.69 every month to pay that, to have that amount every 3 months. This clothes adults, this is a category that I am removing. It just was not working out as well as I would like it to. So what we're going to do, we increased our spending that my husband and I get every 2 weeks instead. And then whatever money's left over from what we don't spend every 2 weeks as our personal money is going to flow over into a separate sinking fund category. And then as that builds, we can dip into that to purchase clothes for ourselves, or use our personal spending money towards our clothing purchases from the paycheck. Just with how infrequent we need clothes, it seemed to work better. Kids' clothes, whew, you guys, this one I underestimated how much. I have 3 kids. I have a 15-year-old boy, 7-year-old girl, and a 3-year-old boy. So you can think of how fast, for those of you who have kids, how fast each one of those kids can grow. Yeah, this, and I've been trying. I shop consignment stores. I sell things as well. It's, but I was finding I could not keep up. And I want to use this as well as a part of their back to school clothes shopping too. Gifts and holidays. This includes birthdays for my kids, family members, friends, holidays when you need to buy Valentine's Day cards for the class, St. Patrick's Day when you want to make green cupcakes, any and all encompassing. So I'm going to beef that up as well. Christmas, Christmas was working well for us. Vacation as well. Car maintenance, I'm going to be changing this quite a bit when I pull in my new sheet. I'll talk more about that, but this was not enough either. We have 2 vehicles that are now paid off and a motorhome. So maintaining those. Tags, I underestimated this a little bit, so I needed to beef that up. I don't think I really took a lot into consideration smog as well, smogging our vehicles. Water park, this one worked out for the most part. I just didn't have enough to cover taxes, but they have a Black Friday deal that they do where you can get really reduced tickets, season passes at the water park. The Norton subscription is due on February 12th, and that's the same idea as Prime. They're both like $120. School pictures. I'm only going to buy school pictures once a year. They do spring and fall, but I'm going to be doing family pictures anyways. So I'm only going to purchase spring pictures. So family pictures, we had not gotten family pictures for about 3 years since I got newborn photos with my youngest. We got family pictures. They turned out beautifully. My kids, I mean, wrangling 3 kids for family pictures, you know, when you have 3 kids, you kind of just roll with it. But I was really impressed with the photographer. She was amazing, and they turned out beautifully. So this is absolutely going to be a must for us every year. Extracurricular. Again, 3 kids, various activities. Back to school. This is only going to be for like backpacks, school fees, certifications. We like to get fishing licenses. I have 2 professional certifications that I have to maintain. That's what's included in here. Pets, we have a monthly pets budget in our paycheck budget sheet, but this is for hospital bills, that sort of thing, kind of an emergency fund for our pets. I have 2 old dogs. This my face category was any money that I hadn't spent from my spending money from the paycheck would roll over into here and build so I could make those more expensive beauty purchases. This would add up to $935. And this my face, it just changes month to month based on how much I have left over for my spending money for the month. But all of this, every month, this is what would get allocated. It would be $935. I have my paycheck budget sheet here. I closed out this paycheck yesterday, but this is just kind of what it looks like. If you guys want to see, and these are our variable expenses. So all of these expenses happen routinely every month, so I budget for them. But the sinking funds, $935, I include that as a bill on my paycheck budget sheet, and that is what gets allocated to sinking funds. This is what we've been working with this year, what has morphed to this year. I'm now going to switch you guys over to the new revised sinking funds and talk through what we had changed and why. All right, so this is my sinking fund table set up for December. Tomorrow, I'm going to be closing this guy out. So if you guys want to see how I close out my sinking funds using my paycheck budget sheets and these tables, stay tuned for that video. But this is what it's going to look like starting in December. And one thing I will say that if you're not sure how to know what sinking funds to do, just start with the budget because it will reveal itself to you. They will reveal themselves. To me, it came through as unbudgeted expenses, or when I noticed that I was constantly busting my budget on these intermittent expenses. They're not going to be the ones that are routine every month. Like every month we need to buy groceries. We eat out. We need to buy stuff for our house, gas, everyone's individual spending, and then our monthly bills. If it's not anything that is not a monthly recurring bill, goes into a sinking fund. So every 3-month quarterly things goes into a sinking fund. Those subscriptions and things that are not every month, they go into a sinking fund. So that's kind of how to just start with it. And then it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't need to be set in stone. This is your budget. Mold it to fit you and your lifestyle, your situation. So first up, home maintenance. I had no idea where to start with this at first. You can see I went from allocating $75 a month to now $250. Where did I get that number? So from YouTube, of course. You guys are so smart on here. I'm seriously have been loving just absorbing, soaking in all this knowledge. So what I had watched was that your home maintenance should be 1% of the value of your home. Now, it's kind of hard to gauge the value of a home right now, just with how the housing market is. We owe $200,000 on our home. I feel our home is probably now worth about 375,000. We've done a lot of different work too that really Zillow can't take into consideration, but I'm just based on the market lowballing 375. But like I said, it's a volatile market. I don't want to go with that. I mean, I just went with 300,000. So if you take 1% of 300,000, that's $3,000 a year. That's for the whole year. I want to do this monthly. So I divide by 12, $250 a month is what I'm going to put into that. Our HOA house, that one's good. The timeshare was good. Prime was good. Waste management's good. This is a category that's been completely removed, as I mentioned. Clothes for kids. What I decided to do with this one was give $1,000 to each kid for the year. That might be too much, but I would rather have more money sitting in here than I need. And this is also going to cover, like, if my oldest wants to do basketball, it'll cover basketball shoes. If my daughter wants to do dance, it'll cover tap shoes. Things like that too, and back to school, like I said. So $1,000 per kid. I have 3 kids. 3,000 divided by 12 is $250. Gifts and holidays, I beefed this one up a little bit. And honestly, I wanted this to be a round number. So whatever was kind of left over, the change and everything just got added to gifts and holidays. So that one used to be $100. It's now going to be this $139.56. Let me see. Right there. Christmas, like I said, it was pretty good. Vacation's been good. Car maintenance. Okay, $500 a month. What did it used to be? It used to be $40 a month. That's a huge difference, right? Like I said, we have all of our vehicles are now paid for. That's 2 cars and a motorhome. This is also a car sinking fund too. So when we need to buy a new car, I want to have a nice chunk of change set aside. Or if we want to buy toys like a 4-wheeler, we live next to a lake, if we want to buy skidoos, it's for whatever. I just want to, instead of financing things, which we're so used to doing, I want to slowly save for things like that. Because we are not gazelle intense with paying off our debt. If you've been following us, that's something you've probably noticed. We're still living our lives because this is going to be a long journey. So for the next 2 years that we're paying off our non-mortgage debt, we still want to live and enjoy our lives. And that's, just been the biggest learning experience for me, is to save in advance for things. So when we do want to spend money on them, it's not as much of a pinch on our budget and we don't have to go into debt. So that's where that came from. Tags, I beefed that one up slightly because, like I said, I had underestimated. It was $22 before, it's now $38. The water park was good. And then Norton, that's good. School pictures was good. Family pictures will be good. Extracurricular is good right now. So is back to school, our certifications, pets. There's a lot. This is everything that is now added. I had pre-printed a lot of these sheets, and we're on a debt-free journey. We're being frugal. I don't want to pay any more money for ink or paper than I have to, so I'm just gonna pencil it in. And this November, unbudgeted, Costco membership. It's $120. I'm gonna look more into that to see if we really need that level of a membership or not. But for now, I'm just gonna set aside $10 a month. So next year, it's not a $120 unbudgeted expense for us. It's already sitting in our sinking fund. We have a travel card that has a fee. It's $95. and it's due in August. So again, to figure out how much to pay, $95 once a year divided by 12, 7.9. I rounded it up to 8. My husband's PlayStation has a yearly fee, and I think it was like 65 maybe. So I did the 65 divided by 12, yeah. And so we might have to bump, have a little bit extra that we'll need for that. Haircuts. For those of you that have been following me, I discovered this month when I went to take, or I guess it was last month because now we're in December, but in November, I take my boys to Great Clips and I go to Great Clips to get my hair cut. My husband cuts his own hair. He usually cuts my youngest's hair. My oldest is, of course, he's a teenager. He's now too picky for dad to be cutting his hair. But they have a deal at Great Clips. Their haircuts are normally $17 per cut. But in November, you can load a card with 22 haircuts for $10.99. That saves you $6 every haircut. I'm not sure that we are going to need the entire 22 haircuts, so I'm just setting aside enough money for about one haircut a month, because my oldest is also wanting to grow his hair out. For now, we shall see, but I'm just going to save up money for that, so when the time comes, I had spent about $95 this month or last month as a part of my unbudgeted to load a few haircuts on the card for now, because that's just such a great deal and I know that I will use it, and it's intermittently and it doesn't happen all the time, and this is going to save us a lot of money. Next, electronics, you guys. For those of you who have been following, I have a Canon EOS 7D that I'm filming on right now. I've had this camera for about 5 years. We'll just use it for some nice family pictures. Sports pictures is mainly what I got it for, because it has the action shot feature. And I'd had the battery in the battery pack for that whole 5 years, and that's just something that needs to be replaced, and it's not cheap. That cost me, I think, about $150 to replace that. We have a very old computer. I have had this computer since before I had kids. It is old. It still works. I will use it till it dies. I'm thinking of taking it to get it to the computer guys to see if I can limp along with it for longer, but we're in cell phones. So this electronics fund is new. We're going to set aside $200 a month for that, because electronics are not cheap. And yeah, this will be for cell phones, for anything for the kids. ABC Mouse, that's a subscription that we have as well. I think it's $45. So if you take the 45 divided by 12, yeah, it's $3.75. And then of course this My Face one is still here. And this one, when you add all of these together, not counting the My Face, it equals $2,000 every month that we're going to be allocating to sinking funds. And that is our new plan moving forward, so that we can I guess be more prepared for these expenses that come up. And I am using a velocity banking strategy to pay off our debt. This money is housed within our home equity line of credit. I have a whole series. It's very complicated to go into. Definitely not going to be done within the scope of this video. But if you want to see more about that, but that money is going to be kind of serving a dual purpose. And so I don't think that it's really going to slow down our debt repayment journey. The increasing this by about $1,000 every month that I'm allocating, that's being pulled from paying off debt and going towards a sinking fund, because this money holds down the home equity line of credit debt balance. So I can still pull large chunks from the home equity line of credit to pay down the student loan. So if you want to see more about that, you can look at the Velocity Banking series or watch, stay tuned for my Velocity Banking monthly check-in videos as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about this moving into 2021. This whole year has been a huge learning experience for us. I feel like we are making progress. That was my word of the month for November. Progress in paying off our debt, progress in learning how to budget. So that is going to wrap up this video, you guys. I hope it was helpful for those of you who maybe didn't really know much about sinking funds or how to start with them. And this is how ours are being changed moving into the new year based on what was revealed throughout our budget. I will see you guys tomorrow when I close out these sinking funds. Bye.